Okay, Ryan Clark was a fantastic, hard-hitting safety during his time in the NFL, and at one point early in his NFL career, I actually thought he was pretty good on TV, until he started diving down the rabbit hole of race baiting in recent years. So for those of you who don't know, Ryan recently made a comment on his Pivot podcast insinuating that Brady Quinn's criticism of Deshaun Watson was somewhat race-related. Brady had questioned Deshaun's character for not stepping back on the field against the Indianapolis Colts after getting cleared by the medical doctors. So Clark had this to say on his podcast.
I do believe the difficult part for Brady here is that race does come into play, because it's going to seem as a white man who is analyzing football is questioning the work ethic of a black player.
So after Ryan Clark posted this video tweet, a lot of people on social media began calling him out for race baiting. One was Jason Whitlock and the other was Marcellus Wiley. Whitlock responded to Ryan's tweet, tweeting, "Good Lord, just embarrassing." And then a couple days later, after Sunday's slate of NFL games, upon Kirk Cousins tearing his Achilles, Ryan posted another tweet where he compared Cousins' toughness to Kobe Bryant. And Jason, being Jason, couldn't help himself but to respond to that as he wrote, "This is what you have to do when you're constantly playing the race card. As a make good on your race baiting, you compare Kirk Cousins to Kobe Bryant. Make it make sense. Good Lord, this is clownish." Okay, so Whitlock wasn't really having any of what Ryan Clark had to say, and I know how a lot of people are going to take this, especially because it's coming from the mouth of Jason Whitlock, who hasn't really endeared himself to his own community. And to be honest, I can't really disagree. Jason has made a name for himself just attacking black players and coaches, and in my opinion, hasn't really been too objective with his opinions. His content is just all about tearing his own people. His constant criticism of Deion Sanders is just a poor take. Calling the man selfish and arrogant makes absolutely no sense to me. And I'm not surprised many people think he's just clickbaiting here, attaching his name to other black athletes and just always calling them out. On the other hand, Marcellus Wiley also called out Ryan for his race baiting ways in recent years and kind of said the same thing I did in my previous video about the former safety. However, unlike Jason Whitlock, Marcellus has been critical of players from both sides. He just calls it like he sees it. Have a listen.
You want to know about somebody? Just listen to them. They'll tell it themselves. So you don't have anything to really put this on in terms of premise other than color, because you don't listen to them enough. You should have stopped there. But you kept going and you had to go deeper with your analysis. And I question, what does criticizing two black quarterbacks have to do with anything? And this is my premise. How many white quarterbacks have you criticized? Well, there's so many more white quarterbacks. Well, you better keep up with these numbers. This year, 14 black quarterbacks started week 1, up from last year 11. 44% of the starting quarterbacks in the league are now black. 56% are white. So it sounds like if we really follow your logic, what we should do is I need Brady Quinn to only talk about those 56%. And Ryan Clark, you only talk about those 44%. Oh, no, that can't be. That's how ignorant that sounds right there. No way. He has a racial count-o-meter of that's 2. Imagine if there was that same lens placed on him. That's 2. Brady and Aaron Rodgers. You said he should come back earlier. The Achilles ain't that bad. Oh, I hate a dog whistling race baiter.
Now, after listening to that, can anyone actually tell me what Marcellus said here was wrong? Because if that's the case, 20 years ago, Ryan Clark would have been only able to talk about the 2 or 3 black QBs in the league and leave all the other white quarterbacks alone. And then put yourself in Brady Quinn's position after Ryan put that race issue up there. How's he supposed to analyze any other black QBs going forward after this comment? The dude has to be walking on eggshells, watching what he says, all because of RC's take. If Brady Quinn remotely even said anything that could be deemed racial in his take, I could fully understand Ryan's perspective, but there was absolutely none of that, and this just shows you what sports media has devolved to on certain networks in recent years. Anyways, Ryan Clark yesterday posted a tweet responding to Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley and tweeted, "I know I'm on the right side when I look across the line and see who's standing on the other side, and now I feel dang good right now. They for sure ain't my kind of people. As much as we resemble one another, we don't have much in common." Okay, so in this tweet, Ryan Clark is basically trying to call Jason Marcellus for quote unquote being Uncle Toms. He said, "They for sure ain't my kind of people," meaning both of them. And like I said earlier, I can get how many feel that way about Jason Whitlock. He's called out Deion Sanders, Stephen A. Smith, and Ryan Clark in recent memory, but then goes on to having Brett Favre on his show and mentions nothing about the Mississippi Welfare Fund allegations. And I know he and Marcellus have had a lot of back and forth in the past before. This ain't the first time he called out Wiley with the race card. The pair went at it when Ryan and Emmanuel Acho got into it a couple years ago, something to do with Acho's blackness. Anyways, do you guys all notice a pattern here with Ryan? This is one way he knows how to get everyone in his community behind him. It's a cheap tactic. Instead of addressing the issue on hand and Marcellus Wiley's points, he just reverts to ad hominem attacks, questioning his blackness. Anyways, what do you all think about this? Am I wrong here? Love to hear your opinion on this take.